I did it again. I pushed the wrong button.
I'm leaving.
But we're recording this time, so take two.
All
right, Brittany.
We're recording. Wait, huh?
Oops, I did it again.
Oops, you did. Okay, I get you now. All right. So, welcome once again to the Cosmic Disaster Show. I am Tommy D, and this week we're going to be talking about the sequels and the prequels, and are they actually any good? And we've got some guests on the couch today, but as always, as we normally do, we're going to start with Discordia and find out what's going on over in the Outer Rim territory of Boston with baby daddy Louie. How you doing?
Hello, children. Again.
See, and now your mic's not muted, so you get a do-over.
Right, I do.
There you go.
I'm good. Looking forward to arguing about why The Last Jedi is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, so let's say hello to our couch folk. We've got Justin and Keenan with us today.
Yeah.
Justin's the guy in the red shirt, and Keenan's the guy in the black shirt.
Yeah,
This is where the names get inserted on the screen.
I'm ready to have this argument as well because Jar Jar Binks is actually the best character.
Move your mic closer. There you go.
Jar Jar Binks is the best character, and the prequels are by far better.
That's a good answer. All right, also, Sith Lord Radio Bitch. Looking very, very Unabomber-esque.
That's what I'm going for.
Right,
I thought it was Ventress.
Ventress. Okay, I can see.
Jeez, he gets it.
Okay, so
Well, you just gotta go bald like me.
Asajj. She was.
months ago.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
So Asajj Bomber-esque. There we go.
Like that. Good one.
And heading around the horn, we've got Smooth Bob, the smoothest of the Bobs.
Hello from the other side of the galaxy.
Which side? Well, just
I
the
don't,
other side.
I don't know.
The other side of the room.
Whoever closest, what if the fucking camera's right there.
Whatever galaxy we're in right now.
Yeah,
The furthest from. Got it.
that too.
Yeah.
Mine's
The third
ice cream
rock
machine.
from the sun.
Third rock from the sun. Oh God.
There we go.
Boo. Boo. Shut the fuck up. Okay. And general knowledge.
Hey.
Always riveting. That's just kind of your thing. All right, gotta love it.
Hey, bitches.
So if you guys didn't check us out on Facebook Live just moments ago, we had Wookiee Wars, which was kind of cool. And Justin, you want to hold up your trophy?
Yay.
And if we could zoom in on that, we totally would, but we're not that fancy just yet. There we go.
Yeah, just
Look at that Wookiee mug. Well done. Use the Schwartz. Outstanding.
there we go.
Again, this week we are going to be, because last week we kind of got into it. We had a bit of a slobber knocker last week, folks. I mean, I thought if Louie was here, I think that maybe he would have thrown some hands.
Yeah. And to make it some
Something would have gotten thrown.
Something would have got thrown. I don't know what would have gotten thrown, but something would have got thrown.
Cucumbers.
Before we get into it, do we have
Sandwiches.
Do we have any news? Do we have any news? I know that we do have a replacement Geek of the Week this week. Robert, I know that you had one planned.
Yeah.
But we did end up getting it bumped as per Radio Bitch's request as well. So we're gonna bump that for a new Geek of the Week this week. In memoriam.
Of Odo.
Odo has passed.
I love me some Odo.
Unfortunately, he is gone. Well,
Who is Odo?
with the founders? He is
Deep
gone.
Space Nine.
He has gone to the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
He's one with the Force.
He is one with the giant puddle of the rest of the changelings.
He's with his people now.
He is with the founders, and
on his planet.
so
I thought
he
you were
is.
talking rocket power.
Wasn't he also in?
Woogity, 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 woogity.
Wasn't he also in an episode of Archer where he played the German guy?
I think so.
Deep Show. Okay, I thought
He was in Benson. He was in Star Trek. He actually did quite a lot within the nerdy community.
psychiatrist in Batman Forever.
Yeah, Odo, we salute you, and we will not forget you. So thank you for everything that you've done. That is really good stuff for all of our Star Trek fans out there. Also, do we have any Circle Nerds updates this week, Radio Bitch?
No, not at the moment.
Not at the moment. I know we're still moving forward with our Con, which
Yes.
is not going to be called Con, but it is the Circle of Nerds presents The Legend of Sleepy Halloween.
That's correct.
And this is definitely something that y'all should put on
is.
your radar. Basically, it is going to be the 200th anniversary of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and we are doing our first ever con to celebrate that and all kinds of other fun stuff.
On Halloween.
On Halloween, yes. It's going to be a Saturday. Halloween falls on a Saturday. and it's going to be our very first convention ever. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a headless horseman riding around on a horse.
Yep.
Or it'll be
We're gonna try.
me dressed up riding around on like a little hobby horse thing.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
It
Or
would
like
be.
one of the inflatable thingies and we just put a pumpkin on your head.
Yes.
Just
That would be
follow behind you.
Oh, with
with
coconuts.
coconuts.
Yes.
Yep. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so any ideas, anything you guys have out there, please message us. Let us know on Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
You're killing me. You look like a Kardashian.
So
Oh, shit.
if I had the nows.
You know, or you know what? Since it's Star Trek, you look like a Cardassian.
Ooh,
You look
I like that.
You look like Kim Kardashian.
I don't have the
really
right neck ridges.
I'll give myself a buzzer on that one. That wasn't funny at all. So
It was funny to you.
We'll give you 10 points for effort.
thanks. I'll get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joke didn't land out.
That's a good one.
Oh no. No, you get.
She just whips them
You get
out.
this.
She just whips them out.
Yeah, you
Like
get that
Indiana
one.
Jones and his dick.
May I quote you on this?
Oh, and so it
So
begins.
good.
All right. So this week, as we said, we're talking about the prequels and the sequels. The great debate: are they any good? Are they as good, if not better, than the original trilogy? And I know this is something that Daddy Louie he feels very strongly about. So we will go to Discordia,
Like John
and,
Wick.
and because he loves John Wick.
It's his favorite. It's his
He
favorite.
loves John Wick as much as
He loves
the
cucumber
prequel.
sandwiches.
Yeah. So.
I think I would rather watch somebody have something really gross pulled out of their ear than watch John Wick.
What is your beef with
Yikes.
Keanu, man?
You
Like,
can
I just
do
want to
that.
know.
Is
It has nothing to do with Keanu.
Is it
to
because
do
he
with-
killed someone with a pencil?
Actually, you know what?
No.
Before we do that, let's actually do like what real talk shows do, and let's talk to our guests today. So, Justin, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am 35 years old. I've been a huge nerd all my life, especially DC Comics, Marvel. Nerd alert! At the same time, I'm the master right now of Wookiees. I'm Batman. No, but I've been a big fan of Star Wars ever since I was I'm gonna say about 7 years old, and I've really appreciated everything that George Lucas has done, except for pissing David Prowse off. Or anything.
Poor Dave.
Yeah, I know. He was a great body actor.
He was indeed. Keenan, tell us about yourself.
Well, I mean, what is there really to say?
I don't know. I've never met you before today, so I don't know.
just to this point, been a nerd all my life. I mean, I think that everyone finds that calling pretty early on. And it's gone from things like Star Wars to WoW. D&D has been a part of my life for about 15 years. That's usually where everything kind of falls into. If it's a nerdy thing, can this be cannibalized and then put into D&D?
Into a wrestling ring.
Yeah, sure. I've been to 28 of the 50 states in the continental or in the United States. Lived in 5 of them, and now I find myself here.
In this basement with these people. So now think about it like this. Every single decision and choice you've made in your entire life has led you here to this moment.
It has come full circle.
So
The only thing that's flashing before my eyes is when I was a hobo
Darth Tyson?
and I was playing a didgeridoo for money and smoking cigarettes so that the smoke would blow out the end of it, and somehow that led to this.
that sounds kind of epic and awesome, actually. I would like you to come back to the show and do that. I think you need to come back on the show and you need to do that. Maybe we can vape it instead of usually actual cigarettes.
Fair enough. Well, your people will have to talk to my people.
That's fine.
I'll pay you at Taco Bell.
It's a done deal.
Wow. That is a cheap date. Love
Even
it.
better.
I love
Even
it.
better. All right, so sequels, prequels, Daddy Louie, what's your take?
The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie to date. The only thing that's close to it is The Empire Strikes Back, and it's very close to it. Like it's kind of a tie between The Empire Strikes Back and The Last Jedi. I would put the two of them pretty even. It could go either way, which one is the best. And I will let y'all tell me that I'm wrong, because every single one of you is going to, and then we can start the debate. So I'll pass it back over to you guys.
I really want to give him a fighting chance with this, because I've had this conversation so many times. I really want to hear why it is so good.
I want to hear why it is so bad.
I mean,
and then I will tell you why it is so good.
I mean, there's the disappearing knife for the first part, and Rey should be dead.
The disappearing knife?
Yeah. Let's start with that. In the throne room where they fight,
okay,
and she should have died because they messed up the choreography. Like, can we just start with something nitpicky like that?
Well, why are we starting, like, at almost the end of the movie?
Well, I mean, we could start at the beginning, but that's why I said I wanted to start by asking you why this is such a great movie when I think it's such a stink burger.
I don't know.
He was trying to Tarantino it.
Oh shit! Yeah, good point.
Go on,
trying
Louie.
to Tarantino it.
Talk about the hateful eight.
I don't even know the choreography part to be honest. And I've read a lot of arguments about bad, and that one has never come across my screen. So I guess I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
It's really awesome. There's this scene, or this part of the scene where she's blocking with a lightsaber, and the way that the blade and the vibroblade and lightsaber are interlocked, the pressure shouldn't be on the man to hold him back. He should be able to just kill her. And then in the very next, they flash cut, and she moves away, and he should kill her right there. But then he just jumps away.
Maybe she used the Force.
Stupid.
For legitimately no reason.
All right, so
Louie, I'm not hearing any arguments from you, man. I mean,
because I haven't seen it, so there's not. I mean, give me something I can.
He's not even seen The Last Jedi, and he's saying it's the best
Jedi.
movie.
It's the best movie.
For shame.
Okay,
Sorry.
I've seen The Last Jedi more than I've seen any other movie
I think that
ever, except maybe Masters of the Universe.
I think that it's a rehash. I think that the main question, who's Snoke? Just kidding, doesn't matter. He's a piece of shit.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter unless they decide that they want to do something with that character in the next movie, which is very possible that they could do.
They're doing nothing. They wrote themselves into a hole by killing off Luke, but keeping Carrie Fisher alive, who is dead.
Why? So
why is what?
Why is that a hole?
Why is she a
Just somebody
space wizard
fucked
all of a sudden?
Let's just
she's
admit
a
Rian
space
Johnson
wizard.
fucked up
How is
in
she a
Star
space
Wars.
wizard? What part of the movie does she?
The part
do
where she
space?
flew back in from the broken
First
ship?
of all, she's not flying. She's not flying.
With the Force.
She's using the Force to pull herself back to the ship.
She lifted lazily to the left.
she's Mary Poppins, y'all.
She uses the Force. I hate that argument that she's flying. She's not flying.
No, she's
using
herself
the
back
Force
in with
to
the
pull
Force.
herself back to the ship.
At least she's not like Mary
hear
Martin
you,
from
but-
Peter Pan.
But when did she learn? When did she learn how to use the Force?
Maybe she
Lady
didn't learn
Vader.
how to use the Force. Maybe it was
She's
an
been known
adrenaline.
how
I
to
mean,
do
have
that.
you never had an adrenaline experience where all of a sudden you can do something that you didn't know that you could do?
Mr. McGee.
How could she communicate with
angry.
Luke when Luke was hanging
You wouldn't
upside
like
down
me
in
when I'm
Cloud
angry.
City and she was almost out of orbit? How was she able to communicate with Luke?
I didn't hear the
She
drum
used the
roll.
Force.
Well, that was a Force bond, which we've seen all throughout the canon. But I'm talking about a person who does not use the Force, just going, "Oh, well, I'm freezing to death. I'm just going to will
Well,
myself."
how do you know that
to
she
ice."
doesn't use the Force? Have you seen? I mean, when did you see her not? I mean,
I have never
you've only
seen
seen her
every
for like
instance.
25
In
minutes
every
in the.
instance, I've never seen her use the
I've
Force.
never seen her use it, and that's why I think it's crap.
I'm going to interject here. There is one spot in Empire Strikes Back when Luke is hanging from the
antenna
Sure,
thingy.
yeah, she has a moment where she does use the Force because she
Right,
recognizes.
exactly.
and
That's what I
realizes-
just said, and
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
saying that because it's a Force bond, it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. As
mean,
far
they
as the
are-
actual
they're-
like Force
they're
push
twins,
or lightning and all that shit, no, there hasn't been any evidence of that. Only in the documentary or the.
If you go back and you watch Return of the Jedi, okay, which a lot of people is. I mean, that's like the second favorite to a lot of people, or the third favorite to a lot of people. So you watch Return of the Jedi, and the Emperor shoots lightning for the first time.
Yeah.
Back in the day, do you know how many people were flipping out about, oh, well, you can't shoot lightning. Like, the Force doesn't have anything to do with shooting lightning. Why are we limiting ourselves on what the Force can and can't do? Just because we haven't seen somebody do it in a previous movie doesn't mean that they're not capable of doing it in a future movie. By saying, because I've never seen them do it, they shouldn't be able to do it, you're limiting what the Force can do. And why are we doing that?
I'm not saying that she is not capable, because she is. She's a Skywalker. She's totally capable. It's that we have had no indication that she has had any training that would allow her to do something of that magnitude.
Besides in Legends.
She said, fuck that.
Well, actually, only in the Star Wars
the
Legends,
books.
like in the expanded
canon.
universe, is where you see the evidence of her actually going through the training, not in the movies. In the original trilogy, not at all.
Disney just said, fuck that.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was stupid.
And that's why I
So in order to make that scene a legitimate scene, let's say we can't cut it out. You're saying that we would have needed to see a flashback scene in The Force Awakens or earlier in The Last Jedi of her training to use the Force in order to make that scene a legitimate scene.
Wouldn't have even needed a flashback.
No, not really.
Would have needed some more dialogue.
Yeah, just dialogue of literally like, well,
there's a lot of stuff that got gapped.
Yeah, it's like you could have been like, oh, I trained at Luke's Academy for a while and then realized it wasn't for me, so I stuck with my diplomatic path.
And she's always been diplomatic anyway.
There you go. I just summed up like that she's okay. That sets it up that she's had some training. She knows how to use the Force in 2 lines of dialogue.
Especially when there's 30 years to explain about how she was able to get it.
It's literally just like she trained for a number of years and then didn't realize, I don't like this. I like being a diplomat. This is what I'm good at. This is what I prefer doing, and then went down that path. But she still got the training for it, but they didn't do anything with it.
Maybe I'm just an optimistic SOB, but I look at that scene and I think it's awesome, not because
she's flying.
Oh, well, I can't explain why she was able to do that, but instead, wow, if someone in the Skywalker, I mean, it just legitimizes how strong the Skywalker bloodline really is, which is then later seen at the end of the movie where you're going to say, oh, Luke shouldn't have died. The dude freaking force project himself across the galaxy. Like, mind blown, greatest scene ever in any sci-fi period. I mean, that just shows how incredibly strong and powerful Luke was.
Hold on.
Tupac did it first.
I just need to interject one thing.
Tupac did it first.
Now, I wasn't going to jump in on this. I was going to, but when Louie, when you had said that it was the greatest scene in sci-fi history. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Flash is coming out.
I need to bring
Flash is coming out.
Yeah, I got to drop the Flash Gordon
I knew
bomb.
about that.
I've got to do it. I mean,
go ahead.
Probably one of the greatest scenes in science fiction history is when Flash Gordon is riding to save the universe, the galaxy, on the back of a lightning cycle.
Flash Gordon to Voltan.
Do you read me? Mayday!
This is Voltan. I read you. Where are you? Flying blind on a rocket cycle. Flying blind on a rocket cycle?
Not to mention the lizard men in the swamp, on the swamp planet. Every scene with Ming the Merciless.
Well, I've only seen that movie for about 5 minutes.
You know, King of the Impossible, yes.
Flash.
The boar worm scene. Look.
Not the boar worms.
Bring me the boar worms. I don't have this on that. I used to have that on here.
I thought you had it.
You had it, yeah.
No, I changed a bunch of stuff around, so I don't have it. I'll get it back though.
No button.
All right. So anyway, back to your.
I like to play with things while before.
I just want to say, because I'm not a big time nerd. I'm just a little nerd. So with him,
Force is not strong with you.
Well, I don't know, but
I retract that.
But I like those scenes as a person that's not this huge fan. I don't think of it as, I like it because it's empowering, obviously,
As
for
a casual
woman.
fan. As a casual fan and as a woman.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool. And who's to say she didn't use the Force during her diplomatic shit? Because
I mean, it works on weak-willed
just because
people.
she didn't use it to like fucking choke out people and do all kinds of stuff, who's to say she didn't do it during her
Again, yeah, I think it just goes to show. I think the purpose of the scene is just to show how strong
right
the Force is within the Skywalker bloodline. Because I think that all of that is going to play. I mean, why is the next movie called Rise of Skywalker? It's going to have something to do with Skywalker and the Skywalker bloodline. Whether it be Ben, turns good and sacrifices himself to save, Rey, and it shows. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think that the purpose of that scene is again to show how strong the Skywalker bloodline is, and that she didn't need training, and that you don't need training in order to be strong. You just have to tap into whatever it is that you have inside of you, especially that bloodline, which brings me back to the midichlorians, which I know Tommy hates, as a stupid concept of the midichlorians, but it all kind of circles back around. If you can logically say that the Force is stronger within somebody because of a higher midichlorian count, you're essentially saying that bloodline is deeper with the Force than anything else, which again legitimizes how strong the Skywalkers really truly are.
How long is that flush?
Yes. Oh, the flush is pretty long. Not as long as the vomit, though.
Please
No,
don't.
don't do the vomit.
Okay.
Don't do
All
the
right.
vomit.
Just go hit it.
So
He's
I
like,
ate
I
too
want to
much.
press
Please
it.
don't do that to me.
Louie, you do bring up valid points. You do bring up valid points. But are you willing to die on that hill to say that, these sequel films are the best, within the entire volume of Star Wars films?
Well, I can't say that yet because I haven't seen the last one.
Revenge of the Sith.
Based on what I've seen of the trailers, it looks like it very well could be.
But now,
I
again,
think
we're not talking about what's not out yet, obviously, but we're talking about what is currently out there.
Yes.
So, of the 8 films that have already been produced, you're saying that the sequels are better than even the original trilogy films themselves.
Yes.
Damn.
I think that so for those people who are saying that The Force Awakens is just a rehash of A New Hope, sure, it's a rehash of A New Hope. It's a better New Hope. It's everything about The Force Awakens is better than the original A New Hope.
I mean, you did get to see it.
If you compare the heroes of the movie, right? You've got Luke Skywalker, a whiny farm boy who just is in the wrong place at the wrong time, doesn't get his way,
he just
and so he whines and complains about it. And then you've got Rey, who's been abandoned and left alone her whole life, and rises up to the occasion and kicks everybody's ass out of nowhere. Rey is a better character than Luke is. I'm sorry. It sucks to say out loud because I love Luke and I love the Skywalker, theory, I guess you could say. But overall, Rey is a better character than Luke was. And I'm comparing Luke in the original trilogy to Rey in the sequel trilogy.
I don't think Rey's her real name.
Luke in The Last Jedi.
See, she can be as great a character as she wants to be, and that's fine. But we didn't need another first trilogy. We didn't need that.
But they wanted to introduce Star Wars to a new generation of kids.
They wanted to cycle.
Well, I guess I'm not seeing how The Last Jedi compares to any of the original trilogy movies.
It's not about that. It's that the story hasn't progressed anywhere. Well, and no questions are answered. And I'm afraid that that's what the new movie, the last sequel, is going to be again. It's just going to be more rehashing, and nothing is going to be answered. We have had a major bad guy, a major player come in. 2 of them, actually. There was not just Snoke, but the
Chrome Dome.
The Chrome Dome. And
Phasma.
I was kind of excited
murdered
to see
real
what
fucking
she
quick.
was going to do, and she was turned into
Dropped
a
into a hole.
punchline. She was dropped into the garbage chute. What are they trying to do? And then with Luke, there's supposed to be this
Christie.
moment of tension where she's handing off the lightsaber. He just pitches it. It's a joke. What are they doing? And it feels like there's no direction.
My question is, how the fuck they repair that lightsaber? Because that bitch blew up. And last time I checked, you can't repair a kyber crystal after it's been shattered like that.
You're right.
And then it exploded with both of them trying to force pull it towards them, and it ripped in half, blew up.
I haven't gone back and watched the
duct tape that
trailer.
joint. Duct
Super
tape is
glue,
strong, but
super glue.
come on now, a kyber crystal? That's something off of there.
Little Gorilla Glue.
Some
Fixes it right
Star
now.
Wars Gorilla Glue.
Wookiee glue.
Force glue, yeah, Wookiee glue.
Force
yes.
glue.
Ew, not Wookiee glue.
It goes along with the Wookiee cookies. lot better than Jawa juice.
So I was googling some stuff about whatever,
rookie.
and I came across that Rey is Luke's daughter.
Theory. That's a theory.
Of course,
yes.
I didn't say it wasn't a theory. It is a theory, that she's a natural pilot and blah blah blah, and yeah.
I'm not buying it.
Well,
So,
no,
I'm not buying it.
You guys heard about that with on the back of the book, right? Where it was saying this follows the story of the Skywalkers from Anakin to Luke and then to Rey. That was in one of the books that was supposed to come out.
Okay.
But I personally, I think that having her connected to Luke as a like blood relative, I think that's just way too cheap, and it's just way too obvious, and it's just.
But I could see them doing it.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, if you think about it, nothing. There's a lot in Star Wars. If you break it down, that's just like really across this vast galaxy, these two people just kind of happen to meet. You can of course say that it's the will of the Force that did it. The Force binds us all together and all blah 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 blah.
And when something bad happens, it corrects itself.
It corrects, sure, and I get that, but I just think that on a storytelling level, to have Rey related to Luke,
that's just shoddy.
I really do. I just think that's lazy storytelling. It's really obvious. There were some things, and again, I don't know if they were done intentionally, but it was Rey used a lightsaber form that we've only seen Palpatine use. Yeah. So we've only seen him use that. I mean, he mastered all, 7 or 8 forms? I think it is. He was like one of the few people in the galaxy who's actually mastered all of them. And she used that style. Now that could have been just a production thing. I mean, who knows?
Crap! Is this your theory that she's a clone of Palpatine?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because we
female clone.
Now not because we before the show we were talking about how we're not going to be seeing the cloned Emperor. Unfortunately, we're that got taken off the table, the canon table, and that was unfortunate. But could this be the closest that we're going to get to that? Because we do know that Palpatine was very fond of clones and cloning, and obviously he would have had himself cloned. But in Legends anyway, we also know that usually forced clones do not, force sensitive clones don't do very well. They don't really last long. They have a very short shelf life. But in this case, instead of cloning himself, maybe he just had a clone made using his juices and 11 herbs and spices. Not necessarily like a full-on clone of himself, but just someone like him. Which would explain a lot of her force, like the level of her force sensitivity. Even Luke was not that strong, and Luke in canon, in Legends now, Luke was arguably the most powerful Jedi ever. According to the books, but of course the books are off the table. But
sacred text.
The sacred text. Sacred text. But like we had said before, the Skywalker bloodline, the lineage, arguably he was supposedly, Luke was anyway, supposedly more powerful than Vader. As he, when he fell to the dark side, he became more powerful, but he was so powerful, he was able to break the hold that the dark side had on him, again, in the books. So the only person that I think that could get to that level would have been Palpatine. Palpatine admittedly was not as strong as Vader, and he said so. But at the same
Vader in check.
Yeah, but at the same time, Palpatine was not to be fucked with. He was a bad motherfucker, and he knew some shit.
His plans had backup plans.
Plus, he had 20 years to figure out, especially between episode 3 and 4, to figure out what would he do if something like this, as a contingency plan. It's like Batman. Batman always had a contingency plan with the Justice League. Not that I'm going off track here, but I can see it to where Palpatine would have many contingencies across the galaxy.
Yeah.
So why not? He had plenty of time to practice it.
Absolutely. And you figure Rey is how old approximately? She's in her early 20s or so, something like that.
Yeah.
So if we look at the timeline, that's, about 10 years after 20 years ish after Palpatine dies, that she would have been conceived.
Just dropped on a random junk planet somewhere in the desert.
See, I'm more of the mindset of that old fan theory that got thrown out, that it's actually something spliced with Mace Windu. Because he got hammered by Force lightning.
Poor Mace.
Yeah.
Mace got fucked. He got fucked up. And there was people saying that he was Snoke, that Mace came back and he was actually Snoke. Yeah. But I don't think that.
Yeah.
No,
so Force lightning gave him vertigo? Like what you telling me?
He got revitiligo. That was revitiligo.
It's like Sammy Sosa.
Darth Ruckus.
Darth Ruckus. I think that's the name of this week's episode now.
Outstanding work.
Darth Ruckus.
Woody and the Blowfish.
The tragedy of Darth Ruckus. Oh, I'm going to Photoshop the hell out of that. All right.
That's going to be awesome.
That's going to do it for us this week, folks. Stick around. If you are a member of our inner circle, if you are one of our valued and beloved Patroni, stay tuned because we are going to be talking about the Rise of Skywalker and potentially what's next for Star Wars and Disney. That's coming up next in our inner circle. If you are not a member of the inner circle, you can rectify that issue very quickly by going to patreon.com/Circle of Nerds and joining up. Do it. I have a button for that too. Aren't you supposed to be like learning how to push the buttons here?
Hi, where'd you go?
Where's the do it? Okay. Do it. There we go. All right, there we go. I found it. So, again, thanks everyone for joining us this week. Thank you to our special guests, Justin and Keenan. Thank you guys for stopping by.
Thank you for having
for
us.
enduring our many technical difficulties.
Oh.
So she is a regular, frequent guest.
I think general knowledge for being Pam of Archer.
Yeah, finally general knowledge has someone to talk to.
Yeah.
So, and of course, as always, Daddy Baby Louie, thank you very much for joining us from the far, far reaches of Discordia.
You're welcome.
All right, so stick around. Justin, Keenan, are you guys going to stick around for the rest of the show?
Why not?
All right, sure. We're gonna head into the inner circle where we usually talk about more things and take our pants off, and it's just a lot of fun in general, I think. So again, thanks for joining us this week, folks. We really appreciate it.
Pants off.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna take my pants off. So thanks for joining us this week, and don't forget you can check us out all over the place on social media. If you'd rather listen to this than watch it, I wouldn't blame you. You can listen to this on all podcasting platforms. We are everywhere: iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, Pandora, just all kinds of stuff. Thank you to Jay Quellen. You want to lean in so you can get on camera? Jay Quellen, there we go.
Jay Quellen.
She's keeping it tight behind the scenes. So thanks. And thanks.
No lube involved.
No lube. I don't have any coconut oil or anything here. I don't know. So we'll find out later. So thanks again for joining us, folks. And as always, remember, if no one does anything nice for you, do something nice to yourself. And we'll see y'all next week. Bye.